All right, today is the day, and we have a special project that we're going to be working on, and we have a sponsor that's going to be helping us with that. More about that in just a moment. Let me tell you why we have this sponsor. In the past, when I have had long continuous aluminum welds, I have sent those things out of the shop because what I have set up here is the TIG welder to do aluminum, and if you have a long continuous bead, it gets pretty tedious and time consuming. So I have sent that out of the shop. At one time, I bought a spool gun for a welder I have here in the background, a blue machine. We won't mention who built that thing, but they sent me a spool gun and it worked for a little bit, but then it started having problems. And I tried setting it aside for a while and coming back to it, and that was my mistake because it went out of its warranty. And even though it had very few hours on it, they wanted $300 for a new motor in it, and that was way too much for me to spend on it, even though the gun itself was well beyond the $300. Well, when they would not extend that warranty and fix that thing, I've just kind of put things aside and not used that spool gun for a long time. Well, a company called Arc Captain has reached out to me to maybe do a review of their welder, and I said, well, I'm not particularly interested in a new welder that does all things, because I've talked about that before. Although I believe it's a great idea, and I recommend that to somebody starting out so that they can learn the disciplines of all the different weldings, MIG, TIG, and other arc welding functions. But we have decided that we're going to take this Arc Captain welder and we're going to put a spool gun on it from Arc Captain as well and see if it can bring some of that long welding back into the shop. Because we have a project and we're going to be building the dashboard and a few other things on Leviathan with this welder to see how well it functions. Anyway, let's jump in, see how it works. I guess over here. Got a lot of parts here made for this dashboard, sent off to the laser cutter, and had kind of another kit built. Again, the slot and tab construction for some of these pieces, and I'm trying to do as much bending and stuff, get the price for these parts down rather than having some outside service do the bending. There's still a few pieces that I just can't quite do. One day get my brake here bolted to the floor, I might be able to do more, but anyway, we do what we can. Anyway, I'm building this piece up, a couple of legs that go into the dash, and the main panel that actually has some fasteners fixed right to the wall of Leviathan. It's in place. Now we're fitting this legs. This leg will actually hold a little articulating arm that holds a little navigation panel, a little monitor for navigation. We get all these pieces all bent up and fit, then our kit will be ready to start building. And we're just about to that point. We've got all the pieces ready to go. They all seem to be fitting. And now with all the pieces, it's ready to get a welder ready to go as well. Anyway, let's pull this thing out of the box and put it together and get on to the project. Of course, the first thing we're going to get out of here is, as we said, this project is going to be set up for spool gun use. We have a spool gun. And goods is going to be able to define this thing from the other machines. Our first red machine. Let's get it set up to run spool MIG and then get back with our project. First thing I've discovered is something I really like, and that is that the electrical contactors and the argon feed are all included in here to what would be the wire feed if you were using the regular MIG gun. But putting the spool gun on here, it's all going to feed through the same thing rather than a lot of these machines will have multiple things with little hoses you have to hook them on. So this is going to be nice to just have one connection on this thing. Well, this thing of course comes with regular arc welding lead, the ground, that's what I need, and a regular MIG torch plug-in and all these things. But of course, all we need is the ground. Pretty simply plug in the negative and we'll be ready to throw a spool in this thing. Of course, it has a nice little chart to help you get set up when you just, all you need to know is the thickness of your steel and what kind of tips you're using for TIG welding, some other settings for loading the spool, so you don't have to refer to a manual. Always nice to have all that information in the box itself. Okay, well, we've got it dialed in, and that was good because it didn't take us a whole lot to get it dialed in. I just did a Google search to see what somebody was recommending on some settings and kind of hit the upper 2/3 average in there. And so we've got our corner weld and our inside fillet weld there. And that's sweet with me on this 1/8" material for that. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna use the laser to tack this thing because that's gonna be the most efficient tacking method. And then we're gonna switch to the MIG spool gun for all those long runs. That's what we're after, is just production status runs. Anyway, we're gonna start building this thing. Let's jump in. The legs we just saw me bend up are all now gonna get fastened to this main sheet section here. And as I described before, we're gonna tack it all in place with the laser welder. And one thing, I wish the laser welder actually had a spool on it as well. The only problem I ever had with this laser welders is that they have a big long conductor lead as well, and it drags a bit sometimes and doesn't feed as well as it should. There is something to be said about the spool gun and that short run. That's why we're here doing this. And we got a little bit of a problem here, and we're getting a lot of soot still, so maybe my setup wasn't as perfect as I thought. We'll keep tweaking it as we go, change the settings until we get it to run as best we can. So this is of course built, as I talked about before, with a slot and tab, and I'm just going down now with the welding all the tabs in place and getting this main sheet, which is we're going to call it the backbone of this whole project, because it has some little tabs. You see it have already been bent down. They line up with some fasteners that were bonded into the fiberglass layup, so that hooks it right to the cab. Then you'll see some other tabs there that are sticking up here off this main sheet backbone. The original plan was to bend those up and attach the rest of the dash with some bolts, but I've decided that I'm going to go back and just use those tabs as a place to tack weld them, or do a little better than a tack weld, I guess. Weld those tabs in place rather than bolt them. The reason I decided to do that is once I started fitting these other pieces that you're about to see, I've noticed that there's plenty of room to reach in through one of the big squares, which is for the dash cluster, and another big square hole for a drawer that will slide in there. With those two big holes, there's plenty of access to reach in and work with wiring and the ductwork for the AC and heat. So we're, like I said, we're just gonna weld those tabs in place rather than use them as a bolting flange. Now when I had this, I just laid out in 2 dimensionals. So I am here actually fitting this piece to the backbone and another piece, doing the bending on the fly, measuring it right in place and then taking over to bender. I've also got a little radius die I've created for the press. We're gonna get a little bit of a 3/4 inch radius to make those corner bends there, and the brake to do the other bends that are a little bit sharper on the far ends. Now with those bends seem to be all fitting now, it's time to start tacking all those tabs, getting this main front section hooked to our backbone. And we'll just keep working along. At this point we're still tacking, and the true beauty of the spool gun is about to come forth here as we set this top sheet on. That has a continuous run of weld that we're going to have to do. So I guess along this dashboard we've got about 4 or 5 feet of welding we need to do. And even though we have to do that in sections to keep things warping, it's sure nice to be able to just put the spool gun up against it and do a 4-inch run, and then switch to another spot and just keep going, run after run, until you get that whole thing done. And once we get this top piece welded into place, now it's time to start adding some pieces. Now here we're doing some CAD, or some carbureted design. This is a bracket that we need to build. Taking that piece of paper, our cardboard design, over and recreated it with the sheet metal, and now we're welding it in place. This is a bracket to hold the shift mechanism that came out of the Silverado. Trying to get it into position. It's going to be a lot different than on the steering column, but it will hold it in a place where we can reach it easily. And then there's a bunch of other little panels that we need to start putting in place. These little wedges, of course, to go above the instrument cluster. And then the same thing, a couple little gap fillers down along the side. Now our little center section was a little bit short, and so I had to make some extensions. Then again, the beauty of having a spool gun, do that an 8-inch run, that would have taken 20 minutes in the TIG welder and produced a lot of heat on that TIG welder. Same thing with the little panel we got to put in here. Now with the box section for the dash almost all done, there's a little piece in the back that I need to trim off a couple inches and leave some tabs. That's going to be a couple of more bolts to attach it to the cab. Those tabs will get bent down. Just going around and deburring this thing, cleaning it up. Then I get to work around to the front edge and start fixing that weld. We want it to be nice and pretty in the finish. But rather than me spend all my time doing it and get it turned over, let Spencer do all the grunt work, grind all that corner angle off and beautify it. Also, we're going to retry fitting the shifter mechanism, and that seems to point the cables in just the right direction and seems to go through its motions, so that's great. Time to throw it in place, give it that final fit. I don't know if anything's ever really final, but we'll give it a good install and start putting things in like the steering column, that shifter mechanism. See if this thing is the way we want it. Of course, there'll be lots of little additions before we do some kind of a paint coating or finish on this whole dash. But the steering column's in, attached to 2 points. Now with the dash pretty much done, I was going to see what this welder could do on some other materials. So we've got some heavier tubing here. It's like 3/16 or maybe some like 12 gauge. And this is going to be a bracket or a framework for holding our radiator in place. And of course the spool gun's doing great with this metal, but we're about to switch to 1/4 inch heavy steel tube or aluminum tubing. What am I saying? Steel tubing. And I'm going to preheat it because they're having trouble with some welding here. And yeah, still having trouble with this 1/4 inch thick tubing. So we tried some other things. I'm not going to bore you with all the different things I've tried, settings, heating, preheating, but we're just not getting that thing to flow very well. And come to find out, if I'd looked at this gauge, this little chart on the back, I may have noticed that the highest it goes is 6 gauge aluminum, and it says you can't even do 6 gauge. Maybe that was our problem. But here's our dash installed, ready to start doing other things like adding our wiring, ductwork for heating AC, defrosters, all those kind of things, which is great. So now what's the bottom line with buying a welder like this? Well, some people make comments on these videos that they couldn't do this because they can't afford this kind of equipment, or that I'm somehow privileged that I have this shop and all these things. Well, let me just say that when I learned to weld, it was probably on a 3,000 pound welder that all I could do is arc weld, and I couldn't afford that thing. It was probably used by somebody else for 100 years before it even came into our shop's possession. Now, I would say the privilege is today that you could actually buy a machine like this for under $1,000. This thing coming in at like $700, that has the ability to do all these different functions. It is just a new world to be able to have this kind of capability. And as I've recommended, if you want to get into this kind of business, do fabricating, you can buy a machine that can do all these different types of welding, and some of these even come with a plasma cutter built in. I don't know how you could skip not doing that if you're just getting into this world. Now, of course, I've explained that I am just adding this machine to do just the spool welding so that I don't have to switch over. And I guess that comes with some time and being able to build up over the years. But if you were to go out and buy a machine like this, you think that you can't afford it, well, then you just need to find somebody that needs something done, and you can weld for them, do some repairs, pay for the machine, and then you have that machine ready to go on and build your own supercar. Build your own Leviathan overlanding truck. Whatever it is you want to do in life, you can do it. Anyway, I will put a link in the description so you can go to Arc Captain and see their welders. Like I said, this is about $700 machine, spool gun about $200, so you're still in there under $1,000 for a machine that can do that. Like I said, it can do other things as well. Anyway, if you want to jump down to that description, it will be right below here. Go see Arc Captain. I think this is a great welder. They've built up the plastics to be heavier, the sheet metal gauge a little bit heavier. I think that's what we call quality, is making things just a little bit tougher, more durable. Anyway, that's our video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back, see us again.